Hello, and this is just a quick review of the FS th9x, which is by FlySky, as you can see. Basically, I'm just going to cover over real quick some of the menu options and the switches and everything, and then future videos we'll go into some of the settings and some of the functions. For right now, let's start off at the top of the radio. Okay, up here we have two knobs. We have three switches. This is our throttle hold switch. This is our dual rate for rudder, and this is our dual rate for elevator. And with the two knobs, we have, let me tilt this down here. We have a hover pitch knob, and we have our trim pitch. And on this side, we have the same thing. We have two switches and a knob. And the knob is for our hover pitch. This switch is our trainer. It's spring loaded. And right here we have our switch that is used to change our gyro from head hold to rate mode. When it's down, it's in rate. If it's up, it's in head hold. Or if you go into the settings and program it, it can be the opposite. On the front here, we have our aileron dual rate, and right here we have our idle up switch, which it's labeled as F mode, and then our labels are N1 and 2. N is normal, 1 is ID1, and 2 is ID2. Okay, on the front of the radio, or what would be the face of the radio, we have 4 digital trims. We have these two, and we have these two. Our on off, our navigation, and then how we enter into menus and accept our selections, and how we exit out and disregard our selections. So let's go ahead and turn on this radio. Now I just went ahead and threw up the holds, or the throttle hold switch, just so I can show you another feature of this radio, which if you turn this on, okay, you really can't see it, but you hear it beeping, and it's saying switch error. And if you come up, put that in the down position, then it will show you your menu, or your main screen actually. And that goes with any of the switches. If they're not in what is considered the off position, then you'll get that switch error. And just put all your switches in the off position, and that'll fix that issue. You don't have to turn off the radio to do that. And then on the screen, tilt this down. Okay, on the screen we have our battery monitor. We have a timer right here. I have it set for 5 minutes. And we have the type of, well, mode is actually your model name, your FM dash PPM. It's your modulation for your signal, and I'll go into that a little bit later. Now, just to go through the menus quickly, let me keep this tilted for you. If you hold down menu for a couple of seconds, you'll come up with either system settings or your settings. These are two completely different menus, so let me go ahead and go through this system settings. This is basically going to cover your model itself. Alright, so you can model select, which is mode select. If you click your menu, you see you got a list of models that you can choose from, and exit out. And go into mode name or model name, you can set the model name. I'll go into more detail on that later. Come into type select, and you can select between 3 different styles of aircraft. For these videos, I'll be sticking with heli, since I don't have any fixed wing aircraft or gliders. Mode VAT. This is how you're actually going to choose whether you're using pulse code modulation, which is the highlighted one, which I believe is for your FM. And then this is for this particular radio with receiver, which is PPM, pulse position modulation. Your stick set as you see, I have mode 2, and that's actually mode, not model. So mode 2 is your typical US settings. Mode 1 is your typical everywhere else. I'm not sure how 3 and 4 act, but as you can tell, in mode 4, you can see where the numbers are at and what they control. And then in mode 3, they jump around. I'm going to leave it at mode 2. Exit out, and then with copy, you have the option of copying your current model into another memory location. And now for the actual model settings. Okay, so whatever model you have selected on the main screen, that's what you're going to be adjusting in this particular section. Reverse, this is your servo reversing options. You see which ones I have reversed. This is going to be different for everybody. It just depends on where your servos are located and what they're being used for. You have your throttle curve. Because I have some knobs adjusted, or actually on. Let me see, not that one. Not that one. Alright. There we go, it's better. And to fix that, I just played with this knob right here. And that got the throttle curve back to linear, as you can now see. Alright, and then where your throttle curve, if you go into your F mode or your idle up switch, the 3-position switch, if you hit it once, it goes into ID1. Notice my throttle curve is a little bit different, and then it's the same for ID2. Alright, exit out of there. And now we go down to your pitch curve. Hit menu. Notice I got some really funky thing going on right there. Well, these turn knobs, and this is the left one, the left top one. And I'm going to set that back at, let's get it right back to there again. That's what that one should look like. And again, your 3-position ID up or ID switch for pitch curve and ID1, I have it linear and ID2. I have them set the same in case I get really twitchy at that switch and I accidentally hit it all the way down. So I have the same settings for both ID1 and ID2. Exit out of there. Come down to sub trims. This is, if you're familiar with CCPM helicopters or more modern day electronics with RC, sub trims are standard across the board. Go into it, and that's just my settings for my particular setup on this particular heli. Endpoints. Alright, this is going to tell you how far your servos are going to travel. I'll get into more detail on that later. Throttle hold, hit menu, and I have it activated. And again, this is the bottom left shoulder switch. I have it set for -0.005%. Again, it's just a safety precaution, just to make sure that when I do throw the switch, the throttle is not going to activate. Your auxiliary channels, you got channels 5 through 9. Right now they're all set to null on mine. Go into more detail later. Swash AFR is the same thing as your swash mix, especially for your DX6i individuals or the DX7 or DX8. And in mine I have 70, -60, and 60. Cover more about that later. Dual rates and expos. I'll get into more detail about this later. This is a really confusing topic for a lot of folks. Tony at rchelp.com does a great tutorial on this, so I probably won't cover this. I'll probably just end up confusing you. So now we have our trims, and this is going to relate back to your dial knobs for the most part. If you notice, I have a -16, or I have a 50, or a 3. That just goes back into those turn knobs that I have activated at this point, which I'm probably going to end up putting them back in the inhibit mode. Revo curve. From what I've been learning, Revo curve is more or less for your rate mode gyros, for setting up revolution mixing. And with my particular heli, I'm not going to be dealing with this at all. Maybe at a later time I'll cover this. The failsafe, right now I just have everything set for normal. I'm not sure how to set this. Maybe some of you guys out there who have an idea of how to set this up can give me some good instruction on that. Now on to page 2. You have your hover throttle, and again I have it activated just to show you how to do some of this stuff on here. If I do the minus, it'll put it in inhibit. If I hit exit, it won't save the settings. If I hit menu, it'll save it. Or if I hold down menu, it'll actually revert back to the standard, or to where I had it set at already. So I'm just gonna hit menu to save it. Hover pitch is the same thing. Save it. Trainer. Right now I have everything turned off, so if I throw the trainer switch, everything stays off. Your display just shows you your stick movements. Your timer, you can come in here and set minutes and seconds, and I have it activated. Default is inhibit. Gyro sense, I have it set for up rate, it's at 65, down rate is 35, and my model is standard. If you highlight standard and hit the plus, you get the GY. This is for your GY 401 Futaba type and clone gyros. Stunt trims, this is more of advanced. I don't know anything about it yet, so I can't give you any insight on that. And programs 1, 2, and 3, this is where you go in and do your program mixing. I've been trying to play around with this for a little bit to figure out how to set this up. I have not figured that out, but anyways, we'll cover this a little bit later. And then just keep hitting exit, it'll take you all the way out, and now we're back at the main screen. Alright, well, that's a wrap up, and like I said, this is just a quick overview of this particular radio, and in future videos I will be showing you more about this radio. Thank you for watching.